Shalom, shalom. In our parsha, Parashat Vayetchanan, there is a beautiful and special mitzvah. Uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvish'arecha. That mitzvah, to put a mezuzah in every door, in every entrance to the house, is a special, so special that every Jew, regardless of how he believes in Hashem and how much he believes in Hashem, he will always try to put a mezuzah on. And my question is why? What it is about the mitzvah of mezuzah that makes it so special? What is it about the mezuzah? Rabbeinu Bechayei gives us the mashal, and he says, "Lema davar domeh." What is it like? He says a beautiful thing. He says it's like a castle. In the front of the castle, you will always see some kind of a guard. There are guards that comes to protect the king. That is the mezuzah. Mezuzah is coming to protect everyone around us, everyone that is in our house, our loved one, our family, or even friends. Rashi comes and explains, wait, do you know why mezuzah? I'll explain you why. Let's go back to Sefer Shmot. In Chumash Shmot, we have the story of Yetziat Mitzrayim, but just before Yetziat Mitzrayim, before the last Makam, Makat HaBechorot, Hashem asked the Jewish people, please put some blood on the drum frame, and that will be a sign that the Malach will not come and will not harm anyone in their house. The Zohar take it even one step forward and says, wait, it's not only the mezuzah, it's also the letters that on top of the mezuzah, Shin Dalet Yud. It stands for Shomer Dlatot Hashem. And that's why we do the mezuzah. I have a beautiful story, and I am Baal HaMaaseh. It happens to me. 3 years ago, we redid the house. We did some construction on the house, and one of the things we had to do is also replace the door. So we called Lowe's, one of the companies here, and we asked to be measured. We wanted someone to come and measure our door. The guy came, and I got scared. Once I saw him, the guy was all tattoos, shaved head, and I got scared. I was by myself here. I left the door open. We had some workers in the construction site. But it was scary, and I tried to explain him which door we want to replace and what door we want. And he started to take some measurements, and as he took the measurements, he saw our huge. We have like a huge mezuzah on the door, and I got scared, and I'm like, oh, don't worry, we will take that off. I told him, don't worry, and he says, no, I can take it off for you. And I wasn't so sure what's the story with this guy, but I says, don't worry, we'll take care of it, don't worry. And he says to me, I know what it is. I said, you do? He says, yes. The guy did not look like a Jew. And he said to me, this is a mezuzah. And inside, there is a special tefillah, there is a special davening of the words of Shema Yisrael inside. I know it. I'm like, oh, wow, this is very special that you know. And he says to me, that's why I want to make sure that nothing will happen to the mezuzah. I want to make sure that the mezuzah will be safe once someone will take it off. Will you keep it safe? And I'm like, yes, don't worry, we'll keep it safe. Thank you for asking. And he says to me, a few years ago, I was called to come and do some measurements in a house that the Jewish family lived at, and then they moved out and sold the house to a goyim. So the goyim called me to replace the door, and also they wanted to replace the lock to make sure that no one will be able to come in. And he says that when he came to measure the door, he saw a mezuzah, and he said to them, let me take it off. I will take it off, and I will take it to my house, and I will keep it safe. It's something that belonged to the Jewish people, probably to the previous owners, and I need to make sure that nothing will happen to it. And the Baal Bayit, the Goy, said to him, oh, don't worry, you can take it off and just give it to me. The guy said to him, listen, I will take it off for you, but do me a favor. This thing will keep your house safe. Don't throw it in the garbage. Just put it somewhere in the house, and I promise you, it will protect you and it will protect the house. The guy said, no problem, just give it to me. So the guy took off the mezuzah, handed it to the Baal Bayit. And as the guy took measurements of the doorstep, he saw that the Baal Bayit takes the mezuzah and put it in the garbage. Okay, it wasn't his place to say anything, so he left. And a week after, when he got the door and it was called to come back and install the door, He came back, but there was nothing to wait for because the whole house got burned. And as I was hearing that story, I says, wow, I got a musar. I got to hear a very good lesson from someone that was not even Jew, but I had so much things to learn. So is there one thing I need to learn? Yes, Mezuzah is a mitzvah that across the border we all need to do and we all need to support. Thank you and Shabbat Shalom.